Hello everybody, I'd like to share a journal that I just finished. I collaged the cover on this one, front and back, and on the inside. And I've layered various papers and some digital prints, added this applique on the front, and I usually don't use bling in my journals, but I really thought it worked here. Just three, keep it simple, but I thought the sparkle was pretty. And on the signature ties, I've got these pretty beads. This is a glass butterfly bead, and I think that's really pretty. It goes with the butterflies on the cover, and I've got a sari silk tie, a single signature. Here's the back with a wallpaper reproduction. And I've taken a course offered by Nazi at Amity Bloom. Learning layering has been a challenge for me, but I applied some of what I learned into this journal. Just a little bit. I'm still struggling a little, but I did manage to get some in here, and I'm really happy with the results on that. I'll point that out as I go. But here's some of it right here, just dropping some layers down a little bit so that you can see them as you flip through the pages. And I love this. Anything with blue, got to sneak some blue in there. And these butterflies came from book pages, as well as this page. And here I stitched a couple rows of eyelash trim for some texture and a visual focal point there. Lots of space to journal, to add your own ephemera or photos or whatever in here. And here I did some collage. And I used a very fine line marker and did dots and dashes around the edge to just bring the attention a little more to the bird. And I love this sheet of vellum. I printed this out. I had driven a few miles from home here in a community where they were tearing down some rows of turn-of-the-century brick buildings. And I just loved the textures of the old paint and wallpaper and brick. And that's what this is. And I loved the colors. I thought they matched pretty well. And I like the texture on that. And here I've torn a dictionary page and just stitched that on to the edge of the paper. And here layered some papers and a definition of the word inspire. Some half pages, I collaged on this one, a little bird here. You can write, journal, add some ephemera there. And this page I stitched with brown thread and folded it over to make a pocket, and I've stitched on a little bit darker, just for contrast, piece of coffee dyed paper and stitched over some muslin scraps. Here I looped a little bit to add some texture, and some cheesecloth here. I thought that was a pretty pocket. And this is some journaling paper. I layered on coffee dyed paper this French lavender paper with this digital, and I love that color, that sari silk. But this opens up and you can journal inside. Lots of space to journal on that one. And this is a pretty paper bag. You can journal on it, and here I layered an old piece of hymnal book page and graph paper. And here again from Nazi at Amity Bloom, I tried layering this cardstock. I ran through the embossing machine, and I love that texture that it created. And when you tear this type of cardstock, it gives you that white core, so you get that white accent on the edge, and I like that. So it gives you some layers that drop down, and I guess you can't see that when it's closed, but here I've added on the pocket. The pocket only actually comes down to here, and then I've added this layering for dimension. And this scrap piece of lace was gifted to me in some happy mail, and I've got cheesecloth and the word gratitude, and did a little bit of fancy stitching there. And this digital that resembles an envelope opens up for some journaling. and it looks like a small envelope in the pocket. And over here again, stitching around, coffee dyed paper. Love the splatters. Added when this was almost dry, not quite dry, I just spritzed some, dipped my, got my hand wet and dipped it in a little bit of coffee crystals and splattered that on there, and I really like the dimension that gives. And over here, some paper bag, and this index card I fastened to the top. I had layered it and done some spraying with inks, and again took a fine line marker and tried to imitate stitching, and ended up making this a tuck spot with some space for journaling. This is one of my photos, and this is one of my collages, which you can journal on those. Space to journal, and I really like this pocket. I kind of distressed this a little more than I usually do, and I like the effect on that, on this pocket. And I've got a stamped tag to journal on, a coffee dyed index card, and this white cardstock. I added some fabric and cheesecloth and lace and stitched that in with a turquoise color to match the fabric, and you can journal there. Lots in that pocket. And over here, journal, or not journaled, but collaged on this page and added the definition of the word beauty. Center of the signature, coffee dyed paper, and this paper, I folded it over so that on this side it created a pocket, and on this side it folds out, and you can journal or add ephemera to that. Lots of space there, and here are your signature charms. And over here I've added some sari silk for texture and a textured collaged journaling card. Love the bee. Some people like bees, some people don't. I did a very light stamping here on the wren and then accented it with darker thread, and again I'm trying to layer, so I added some scraps of eyelet and embossed paper. And over here there's a lady on YouTube. Her name is Angela Anderson, who does painting tutorials, and I followed along and painted this bird nest, and then I photographed it, printed it out on vellum, and added the different colors of thread, and I love that pocket. And in the pocket back here I've added a fussy cut bird to match the colors, and I had this recycled card, added a paper for journaling there over the sentiment, and this printout for journaling. Over here, this like a 3/4 page I've collaged on there, and then on the lower side of this I've added layers of lace and crochet trim. And in this pocket, another one of my photographs, and I've layered that on cardstock and torn the edges, and I've got a piece of that sari silk and some crochet trim, and that makes a nice journaling card. Some more collaging or layering of paper over here, the other side of the paper bag, matched up similar colors. Again, the flower with the bee and a butterfly and some cheesecloth. And on the other side, I've layered, again, this, speak Anita, embossed cardstock that I've added with some crochet trim, and it hangs below to give you dimension on both sides. But in the pocket, I've got a mini journal, and you can journal in this or tear the pages out and apply them anywhere in the journal. And a die cut butterfly. Tried something different on this page. This is a coffee dyed paper, and I was working on a different project that involved acrylic paint, and I decided to do some dry brush and blending on this, and I really like those colors and the soft effect on that. Over here, another tuck spot with embossed paper and some book page and scraps, and in there this index card with a lot of collage and stamping and spritzing of inks going on, some stenciling back here, and you can journal on that. Some fabric, beautiful flowers. Here I've got 2 journaling cards, strips of paper sewn in, not exactly pockets because they're not sealed at the bottom, but tuck spots. Delight in the little things, and that'll tuck right in there when you take your time and do it right. And this has some glitter and embossed butterflies and moths, and it goes back here in this one. I just collaged a couple butterflies here. The back side of that photo that I took of the buildings being torn down and the textures on the side of the building. I love the textures and the colors on that. I said that already, didn't I? Okay, we've got layering here and stitched on some lace and another tuck spot with more layering. I'm working on it, and I've got paper and some more of this embossed paper, and I ran some, just kind of sponged on some copper and gold colored ink. I don't know if that picks up on the camera or not, but some lace here and a journaling card that says Hope Happens, a book page, and the back page, the back of the inside cover. Love the colors, tried to match those up with what's going on over here. Some more of that layering where things come down a little bit below the edge of the page, and I just love the dimension on this. So I'm definitely going to keep working on these techniques, and I enjoyed working on this journal. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great Christmas, Happy New Year, stay safe everybody. Bye.